In a quiet corner of a town stood an old school with towering gates, green lawns, and a library filled with not just books, but wisdom carved into every shelf. Inside this library were two clocks placed on opposite walls, one facing east, catching the morning sunlight, and the other facing west, basking in the golden rays of sunset. Both clocks were made by the same artisan, known for crafting timepieces with precision and care. For years, the two clocks ticked in harmony, second by second, minute by minute, never missing a beat. They marked the rhythm of school life, the start of classes, the lunch break, the final bell. Students often glanced at them, teachers trusted them, and time moved on steadily under their watchful faces. But one day, something changed. The clock facing east, the one that greeted the students each morning, with its steady tick-tock, began to think too much. It had been working tirelessly for years, never questioning its role. But on this particular day, it suddenly began to reflect on the burden of its job. I tick once every second, it thought. That's 60 times a minute. That's 3,600 ticks in an hour. In a single day, I tick 86,400 times. And in a year, over 31 million ticks. How can I possibly keep doing this? That's too much. It's exhausting just to think about it. The more the clock thought, the heavier each tick felt. It began to doubt its strength, its purpose, and its future. The burden of millions of ticks ahead became unbearable, and with that weight on its gears, the clock stopped ticking. Silence. Students passing by noticed. Some tried to shake it gently. The librarian thought the batteries had died and replaced them. The clock sprang back to life, ticking again for a few hours, but soon it stopped once more. The worry returned, and it simply could not move forward. On the opposite wall, the second clock facing the evening sun continued its work with quiet grace. It had the same design, the same parts, the same ticking schedule, but it never seemed tired or worried. A curious student, puzzled by the difference, asked the second clock, "Why do you keep ticking without stopping? Don't you get tired? Don't you think about how much work you have to do, ticking all day, every day, for years?" The clock, wise from years of silent observation, replied in a calm and gentle tone, "No, I don't feel tired, because I don't think about ticking millions of times. I only focus on the one tick I have to make right now. One tick, 1 second. That's all. When that one is done, I move to the next. It's not about millions. It's always just one." The student stood there quietly, the words echoing deeper than he expected. He thought of his own life, assignments piling up, exams looming, future goals that felt so far away, and yet so overwhelming. He remembered the nights spent worrying about what lay ahead, feeling frozen, just like the stopped clock. That day, the student learned something the books hadn't taught him. He realized that time, when looked at as a whole, can feel like an impossible mountain. But time isn't a mountain, it's a path. And all we need to do is take one step at a time. Days passed. The broken clock remained still, but the student, inspired by the second clock, changed the way he approached his studies. Instead of worrying about the entire semester, he focused on completing one chapter. Instead of panicking over a future exam, he reviewed one concept, one hour, one small effort at a time. He still glanced at the west-facing clock often, not just for the time, but as a reminder that progress is made, not by thinking of the whole journey at once, but by moving through it steadily, moment by moment. Over time, other students began noticing the change in him, his focus, his calmness, his quiet confidence, and when they asked what had changed, he smiled and said, I stopped trying to tick a million times. I just tick once. Do my best in this moment. And that's enough. The stopped clock was eventually replaced, but its story remained. Teachers sometimes told it to new students. And as the years went by, the tale of the two clocks became more than just a story. It became a lesson, a quiet whisper in the minds of students who felt overwhelmed, reminding them that time is not to be feared, but to be respected, 1 second at a time. Because in the end, success is not built in a single day. It's built in the seconds you don't waste. And the best way to make the most of your time is to use it now wisely, simply, and steadily, like the second clock. One tick at a time.